Hello everyone, Ace here, and today, well, unfortunately, I'm going to have to go ahead and say it. Do not buy the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection. At least not yet. Because tragically, this release has been very much borked. To the tune that it is getting absolutely destroyed in the Steam reviews, with this game currently sitting at a 21% score. A score that, for the record, is still going down. So you may be wondering what exactly happened to cause this. Well, there are a number of issues to go over. To rip the band-aid right off, the biggest one that a lot of people are complaining about is the state of the multiplayer, which is a big deal considering this is Star Wars Battlefront we're talking about. You know, a series that from the very beginning was primarily focused around multiplayer, much in the same vein as the Battlefield franchise. That being said, I am of course still of the opinion that you can make a solid single-player experience out of a game of this type, and in fact one of the best examples that I would go to when bringing this up just so happens to be the original Star Wars Battlefront 2 from 2005, which thanks to its robust skirmish mode, as well as a pretty solid campaign mode that had exactly the sort of campaign and storytelling elements needed for a game like this, all of which combined to help ensure that the original Battlefront 2 had one of the best single-player experiences of any Battlefield-style game. But even then, there is absolutely no denying that the main draw for the Battlefront games has always been the multiplayer. So what exactly happened to the multiplayer of the Battlefront Classic Collection, you may ask? Well, for a start, the game launched with no more than 3 servers, apparently. You know, for a top seller on Steam. In other words, when this game launched, the maximum number of players who could play multiplayer was capped at less than 200 total, out of the thousands if not millions of people who bought this game. Already off to a flying start. Now admittedly, more servers were brought online a few hours into the launch, but there are reports of these servers having ping issues up the wazoo, making the game incredibly laggy, and also making hit detection be all over the place. Admittedly, you could argue that this is somewhat of an authentic experience for those such as yours truly who grew up playing multiplayer on dial-up. However, I suspect this was not exactly as the devs had originally intended. Now, to be fair, I do think this is an issue that is going to be fixed, but unfortunately it is not the only issue for this game, as people are reporting a whole host of other issues as well, some of the bigger ones being audio randomly muting at times, as well as weird issues with inconsistent mouse acceleration, to the tune that I swear the mouse sensitivity drops way down the moment the game notices that you have a controller plugged in. So yeah, control issues and audio issues to the tune that the mouse sensitivity is borked and the audio just randomly goes mute at times. This is also on top of features that are flat out missing from the original versions of these games. Want to use the Add All Maps button to add all maps to your playlist? Nope. Want to shuffle that playlist afterwards? Nope. Want to use inverted controls on anything other than starfighters? Nope. In fact, you can't even get rid of the inverted flight controls either, which admittedly, who doesn't fly with inverted controls? But still, that is a mistake you should have the freedom to be able to make. Adding insult to injury, let's talk about another thing that the game cut. Remember those debriefings you got after beating a mission in the original Battlefront 2? Well, I certainly hope you do remember, because the game expects that from you, as you're not getting them here. There's also a streamer option that is not going to save you in any way from getting content ID claimed if you ever dared try to stream this game on YouTube. Yes, you heard that correctly. This game has a streamer option that utterly fails at making the game live stream friendly. I originally thought it was at least having some impact on some of the audio files, but it turns out that wasn't the case. It's just that some of the audio files happen to be scuffed anyways, to the tune that they're actively playing at the wrong speeds. This, for example, includes the end of mission music for Battlefront 2. I've also heard the objective complete sound effect playing at a slow speed as well for Battlefront 2 for the record. In addition to features that are missing from the original Battlefront 2 or simply flat out do not work, there are also modern features which are curiously absent as well. Most notably, the lack of actual cross-play support. So if you're like me and you happen to be a PC gamer, and most of your friends happen to be console gamers, well, you're not going to be able to play with them, at least not online anyways. You could play with them on split screen, even on PC, which is a feature that I was actually looking forward to, but considering all the other issues that this launch has had so far, you can probably see why split screen support isn't enough here. It's especially not enough considering the asking price. The Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection is currently going for $35. Now, admittedly, this is for a remaster of 2 games, but even taking that into consideration, this is still quite pricey. And so if you're going to charge people that kind of money, then at the very bare minimum, make sure that it is polished at release. And obviously also make sure that the servers are actually up and running when the game releases. Then at least people wouldn't be complaining as much about the high price. They still might be complaining about the ridiculous amount of hard drive space this game takes up, which for those who don't know, this game takes up 72 gigabytes of hard drive space, which to put into perspective means that this game takes up more hard drive space than Helldivers 2. For AI upscaled texture work, that'll likely be outdone by modders in a week or two, if it hasn't been already, that is. So yeah, for all of these reasons, do not buy the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection yet. Wait for these issues to get ironed out, which I'm sure they will, and also wait for the game to go on sale. May the 4th is coming up, and you know this game is going to be on discount. I will say though that the worst part about this whole situation is that this game very much has the potential to be amazing if it were fully fleshed out. At the end of the day, the original Battlefront and Battlefront 2 were phenomenal games. It is at least clear that there was an attempt made to try to do those games justice, though clearly either the money ran out or the time ran out before that could become a fact. The inclusion of the Xbox exclusive DLC features, for example, was one of the reasons why I was looking forward to picking this game up. Another reason, which I again admit is niche, is the fact that it has built-in split-screen support even on PC. A feature that I will defend to the bitter end. We seriously need to bring back split-screen parties and LAN parties. And then there is of course the expanded Heroes Assault mode, which is the developers adding something completely new to the whole experience. Again, another reason many people were excited for this game coming out. All of this is to say it's very easy to see why people were getting hyped up about this remaster, and why this release has been such a disaster. Most of the issues I've mentioned are absolutely going to be ironed out eventually, though other matters such as, for example, the crossplay situation are likely going to be where those issues remain more or less. So yes, at the end of the day, my advice to you is to simply not buy the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection. Yet. Wait for the game to go on sale, and wait for the issues to be ironed out. Having said all that though, I will of course endeavor to continue to keep my ear to the ground and keep you all informed should any more news come. But in any case, this has been Ace. Hope to see you guys again soon. Take care. Ace out.